Man, 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 man. Magandang umaga po mga kasangga. Ito naman po ang inyong Kuya Dong at sinasamahan kayo sa isang pagbabalita na naman po sa MSB Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Maulan na umaga. Sobrang ulan. Hindi na po tumigil yung pag-ulan. At maya-maya lamang po ibabalita po natin kung yung merong bagong namumuong bagyo, no, malapit po dito sa ating bansa. Kaya pagkatapos po ni Hana, may bago na naman po tayong bagyo. Hindi na po tumigil yung pagpasok ng bagyo sa ating bansa. Hindi na po tayo tinigilan. Ay, good morning po sa ating early viewers kay Brother Jeng Galang. Good morning na Koyang. Thanks for watching. Kumusta na kayo? At sa ating mga TikTok viewers and YouTube viewers, good morning, good morning. Bago po natin simulan ng ating pagbabalita, samahan niyo po muna ako sa isang maikling panalangin. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal naming lumikha, maraming salamat sa bagong araw na ipinagkaloob niyo po sa amin. Sa mapayapang gabing lumipas at sa patuloy na pagbuhos ng iyong mga biyaya sa amin at sa aming bayan. Naway ipagkaloob mo pa po sa amin ang lakas at tibay ng loob upang mapaglabanan ng kasamaan at manatili po kami sa paggawa ng mabuti sa kapwa at sa pagsunod sa inyong itinurong tamang landas. Lahat po ng gawain namin ngayong araw na ito, inaalay po namin sa ngalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus, naming Panginoon. Amen. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak, Espiritu Santo. Amen. MSB Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Kapit sa inyong Kuya Dong. And here is a summary of our top stories for today, September 5, 2023, Tuesday. Government stands firm Rice price caps start today. Onion farmers weep over imports low prices. Diesel prices up by 1 peso 20 centavo per liter and gasoline by 50 centavos. Ngayon na po yan, starting at 6 a.m. Talking to China is no sign of weakness, U.S. trade chief. Court acquits Kerwin Espinosa of gun raps. Return ₱500,000 pension. Gun toting ex-cop told. PCG to monitor fuel extraction from beach vessel. And update on tropical depression Ineng. Good morning kay Brother Manny Samontan. Brad, maraming salamat sa iyong panonood. The headline stories are brought to you by Equilibrium Probiotics. Please scan the QR code to see its health benefits. Government stands firm. Rice price caps start today. Report by Helen Flores and Bella Carriazo to the Philippine Star. Aid for small retailers eyed. Manila, Philippines. Market manipulation prompted the government to intervene and impose a price ceiling on rice control to control the spike in prices. President Marcos said yesterday as he committed financial aid for retailers that would suffer losses due to the price cap. Signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on August 31, Executive Order 39 set a price ceiling for regular milled rice at 41 peso per kilo and 45 pesos per kilo for well-milled rice nationwide effective today. We cannot see good reasons why the price of rice will increase like this, exceeding 50 peso per kilo. But our markets are being manipulated, so the government must intervene, and that's what we're doing. We implemented price ceilings for rice, Marcos said in his speech before departing for Jakarta, Indonesia, for the 43rd Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN Summit yesterday. Now, in our study, the only reason for this is that there are really smugglers and hoarders, the president said. Marcos stressed the price ceiling would not last long as the supply of the staple is expected to increase with the onset of the harvest season and the arrival of rice imports. We need to explain that this price cap is just temporary, the chief executive said. He added that the government is readying financial assistance for rice retailers who may be affected by the mandated price ceiling. He stated that the Department of Agriculture, or DA, and the Department of Trade and Industry would come up with a list of retailers and the corresponding losses they could incur due to the price caps. Earlier in the day, Marcos, who is also the Agriculture Secretary, met with officials of several government agencies at Malacanang to discuss mitigating measures in connection with the implementation of EO 39. During the meeting, Social Welfare Secretary Rex Gatchalian presented the proposed livelihood assistance or the Sustainable Livelihood Program for small-scale rice retailers and the proposed social safety net for affected rice retailers. Latest data from the DA showed that imported commercial rice ranges from 47.50 to 57 peso per kilo, while local commercial rice is priced slightly higher at 51 pesos to 59 pesos a kilo. 2 billion peso assistance. In Congress, Speaker Martin Romualdez directed the Committee of the House of Representatives to find ways to allocate 2 billion peso to help retailers cope with possible losses as a result of the government's cap on rice prices. Our goal is to ensure that we can extend assistance to rice retailers who may be affected by this rice price ceiling, as it is a directive from our president aimed at protecting consumers, he said, as he instructed Chairman Rep. Zaldi Ko to coordinate with the Budget Department. The Ako Bicol Party List congressman, for his part, agreed and vowed to coordinate with the Department of Budget and Management Secretary Amena Pangandaman to swiftly explore avenues for the allocation of the specified amount. We will promptly engage with the DBM to expedite the release of the 2 billion peso funds for our rice retailers, said Go, chairman of the Chamber's 54-member party list coalition Foundation Incorporated. Romualdez also warned rice hoarders that their establishments will be shut down and business taken over as the government continues its efforts to bring down the price of rice in the market. Don't try to scare the government. The government can take over and do the importing itself and just break even or subsidize. At the end of the day, the people, over 100 million Filipinos, should not be overcharged and go hungry, he insisted. We won't stop until the president is successful in achieving his targets. We're very serious about it, and we're not going to stop here in Luzon. We'll go to the Visayas and Mindanao. We're going to hit every region, Romualdez said, referring to their joint raids with the Bureau of Customs. At the Senate, Senator Cynthia Villar expressed support for the price cap. I think the president should implement a price ceiling, as I don't think traders will lose money even if there's a price ceiling, because the cost of rice has not risen really, said Villar, chair of the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Food and on Environment and Natural Resources. The cost of producing rice in Vietnam is 6 pesos per kilo of palay. You multiply it by 2, the cost of rice is 12 peso per kilo. So you can sell it at 25 pesos. You have a 50% margin. If you have to pay for transport and taxes, 38 peso is very reasonable, she added. Villar pointed out the country's problem is the cartel, where middlemen try to influence trading by creating an artificial shortage so they can increase the price of rice in the market. Fines and imprisonment. Meanwhile, Bureau of Plant Industry Director Glenn Panganiban called on retailers to comply with price cap as there are penalties awaiting the violators. We are continuously encouraging our retailers to comply as there are penalties for those who will not follow, Panganiban said, noting that violators face fines and even imprisonment. He said the Department of Interior and Local Government and the Philippine National Police would help the DA and DTI in enforcing the price cap. Importers monitored. The Bureau of Customs is monitoring traders bringing imported rice into the country to ensure that the price cap is ordered as the price cap ordered by President Marcos is properly imposed. Customs Assistant Commissioner and spokesman Vincent Philip Maronilla said they recently had a meeting with rice importers. We are monitoring the cost of their imports and the duties that they need to pay so we can see the landed cost and make sure they will meet the price set by the president, Maronilla said during the Laging Handa briefing. We are monitoring so we can avoid traders who will say that they cannot meet price ceiling when in fact they can. Based on government data, Maronilla said, we encourage those involved in trading and selling to comply for the benefit of the consuming public. With additional report from Louis Maureen Simeon, Delon Porcalia, and Cecil Suerte Felipe. Good morning po kay Brother Ramon Berenguer, PWD President ng Barangay Maligaya. Thanks for watching. Next on our headline stories, onion farmers weep over imports, low prices. Report by Bella Cariaso to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. Onion farmers from Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, and Mindoro held protests at the Department of Agriculture's headquarters in Quezon City yesterday amid the flood of imported onions in the market. The farmers urged President Marcos, concurrently Agriculture Secretary, to direct the Bureau of Plant Industry to halt the issuance of import permits as the price of local onions in cold storage facilities dropped to 70 peso per kilo from the previous 130 pesos per kilo. Agriculture Assistant Secretary Rex Esto Perez said the protesting farmers, they are willing to delay the release of imported onions to allow local farmers to release their stocks. The 78,000 metric tons of local red onions in cold storage facilities will last for 3 months or until November, while 827 metric tons out of 6,000 metric tons imported red onions that have already arrived in the country can be stored for 4 months. The onions can be stored for 4 months, and we will consult with our importers to delay the release of imported onions so that local farmers can release their stocks, Esto Perez said. Local farmers should give assurance that the onion supply will be available in the market, he added. You should commit that the experience last year will not happen again after retail prices of onions soared to as high as 720 peso per kilo because of hoarding, Esto Perez noted. The farmers present during the dialogue assured consumers of a steady supply. Bungabon, Nueva Ecija onion farmer Efren Alvarez said the farmers are discouraged from planting amid the flooding of imported onions in the market. Elena Santos, another farmer from Nueva Ecija, called on the DA to ensure that no imported onions will be sold in the market while local stocks are available in cold storage facilities. Based on the monitoring of the DA, the retail prices of local red onions range between 130 peso and 190 peso per kilo, while white onions at 120 and 170 peso per kilo, and imported white onions at 100 and 170 pesos per kilo. Ito na po ang masamang balita. Diesel prices up by 1 peso 20 centavos per liter and gasoline by 50 centavos per liter. Report by Richmond Merculio to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. The prices of petroleum products continue to rise today as oil firms implement another round of price hikes. In separate advisories yesterday, oil companies said prices would increase by 50 centavos per liter for gasoline and a heftier 1 peso 20 centavos per liter for diesel and 1 peso 10 centavos per liter of kerosene. This now bring the price hikes for diesel and kerosene to a ninth consecutive week, and that of gasoline to its eighth straight week. So patuloy po yung pagtaas ng presyo ng petrolyo. The upward price adjustments will take effect at 6 a.m. today for most companies except for Caltex, which implemented the price movements at 12:01 a.m. and Clean Fuel, which will implement it at 4:01 p.m. This week's adjustments will reflect the movement in the international oil market as global prices continue to rise as a result of OPEC plus reducing supply until September. Diretso po yung pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina. Good morning, Brother Max Lintag. Ulat panahon po muna tayo. Weather update. Ito po ay galing sa Pag-asa and DOST. At 3 a.m. today, the center of Tropical Depression Ineng was estimated based on all available data at 915 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon, with maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 55 kilometers per hour. It is moving northward slowly, southwest monsoon affecting the country. So diretso pa rin po yung effects ng southwest monsoon sa atin. For Batanes, Cagayan, and Isabela, cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms with possible flooding or landslides due to moderate with at times heavy rains. Pangasinan, Zambales, and Bataan, monsoon rains. Possible flooding or landslides due to heavy, at times intense rains. Metro Manila, the rest of Ilocos region, Abra, Benguet, Pampanga, Bulacan, Rizal, Cavite, Batangas, and Occidental Mindoro will have occasional rains with possible flooding or landslides due to moderate to heavy rains. And the rest of Luzon will experience cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms with possible flooding or landslides due to moderate with at times heavy rains. So ingat po tayo mga kasangga. So lalo pa pong pinatindi yung ano po ng habagat dahil po dito sa Tropical Depression Ineng. And moving on to our global headline news. Talking to China is no sign of weakness, says U.S. Trade Chief. Report by Agence France Presse to the Philippine Star. Manila, or no, Washington, United States. Holding talks with Beijing officials is not a sign of weakness by Washington, the U.S. Commerce Secretary said Sunday, adding that not talking can lead to greater tensions and misunderstanding. It's in the U.S. interest. It's in China's interest. Indeed, it's in the world's interest for the U.S. and China to have a stable and significant commercial relationship. Secretary Gina Raimondo told CNN State of the Union days after returning from Beijing. I do not accept the premise that talking and communicating is a sign of weakness toward China, she added. Raimondo met with top officials during her Beijing visit, including her counterpart Wang Wentao and Prime Minister Li Qiang. The visit came as the Biden administration has been working to restore a more effective working relationship with Beijing at a time of deep and continuing strains. It was the fourth visit by a senior U.S. government official since early summer, each of them on a frog mission amid severe challenges, including Raimondo's recent allegation that China-based actors had hacked her email. I want to be clear with them that we aren't foolish, she told CNN. We aren't close eyes to the reality of what they're trying, she added. I put it on the table and let them know. And it's hard to build trust when you have actions like that. Raimondo said her Chinese counterparts recognize that we have plenty of tools in our toolbox. In my case, export controls, outbound investment, screening, tariffs, countervailing duties. We do have sticks, if you will, and we are ready, willing, and able to use those as necessary. She nonetheless emphasized that it was in both sides' interests. Indeed, it's in the world's interest for the U.S. and China to have a stable and significant commercial relationship. The bilateral relationship faces a litany of problems, from trade disputes to Taiwan's future to the expansive Chinese presence in the South China Sea. Officials in Beijing have chafed, in particular over restrictions imposed by the United States on the export to China of certain products, notably high technology. Washington maintains that the export curbs are a matter of national security in the face of China's growing military power and expanding global footprint, but Beijing sees them as an attempt to hinder its economic rise and development. During a Beijing visit last month, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sought to reassure Chinese authorities about the impact of the trade restrictions. In July, the U.S. Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, visited China for 3 days in an effort to restart bilateral climate talks. And in June, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken became the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit Beijing since 2018. Good morning po kay Kuya Butch Bautista. Thanks for watching. Moving on to our regional stories. Good morning, Brother Eric. Si Kuya Eric po nanonood at si CM Johnny Sanchez is also watching. Good morning po. Court acquits Kerwin Espinosa of gun raps. A report by Gio Ong to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. A Manila court has acquitted self-confessed drug lord Kerwin Espinosa of illegal possession of firearms and explosives recovered when police raided his father's house in Leyte in 2016. In a 46-page decision released yesterday, Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 16 presiding Judge Janice Yulo Antero said the prosecution failed to prove the guilt of Espinosa beyond reasonable doubt. The court noted that witness Marcelo Adorco withdrew his statements alleging Espinosa owned the cache of firearms and explosives confiscated during a raid in the house of slain Mayor Rolando Espinosa of Albuera Leyte in August 2016. During the drug raid, police recovered a 5.56 caliber rifles, 9mm pistol, .45 caliber guns, and a 9mm submachine pistol. The firearms were owned by the elder Espinosa, according to Adorco, who served as the former mayor's bodyguard. Adorco maintained that Kerwin had no knowledge about this. Raymond Palad, lawyer for Kerwin, said his client was abroad when the raid happened. Kerwin is still facing charges of illegal drug trade and money laundering. He had testified against former Senator Laila de Lima when the Duterte administration accused her of accepting payola from drug dealers at the New Bilibid prison. Kerwin claimed that he helped finance for de Lima's campaign for a Senate seat using drug money. De Lima, who has been in detention for more than 6 years, has been acquitted in 2 of 3 drug cases filed against her before the Muntinlupa courts. Moving on to our next regional top story. Return ₱500,000 pension, gun-toting ex-cop told. Report by Delon Porcalia and Mark Ernest Villasa to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. The Philippine National Police wants Wilfredo Gonzalez, the dismissed PNP officer involved in a road rage incident with a cyclist in Quezon City, to return 588,000 in overpaid pension benefits. At a press briefing at Camp Crame yesterday, PNP Retirement and Benefits Administration Service Director Brigadier General Nino David Rabaya said Gonzalez has yet to return 588,000 pesos in separation benefits. We are taking actions for the recovery of the overpayment of his pension, Rabaya told reporters. He said demand letters requesting the return of the pension funds have been sent to Gonzalez since 2019. The gun-toting Gonzalez physically and verbally attacked the cyclist during a traffic altercation in Quezon City on August 8. In 2018, Gonzalez was dismissed from the police service due to an administrative complaint involving grave misconduct in 2006. Before the case was resolved, he was able to collect retirement benefits from the PNP for around 2 years. According to Rabaya, Gonzalez received a lump sum of his pension from 2016 to 2019. He stopped receiving his monthly pension in 2019 after the PRBS received the dismissal order. We will be taking civil action against him if he refuses to return the funds, the PNP official said. The Land Transportation Office is keen on suspending the driver's license of Gonzalez. If there's no justifiable reason for him to have drawn his firearm, then his driver's license would most probably be suspended, LTO Chief Rigor Mendoza II said. Gonzalez snubbed the LTO's summons and only sent his son. Binastos kayo ha? Kung ako yan, wala nang lisensya yan. Yes, nag-quit na nga Brad. Nag-quit na si Torre because of the uh, yung ginawa nilang pag-areglo. Inareglo nila yung yung siklista na hindi naman dapat yun nagdemanda yung siklista. Hindi nila tinuruan. Kinausap pa siguro nila. Ganyan talaga. Ganyan talaga sa atin, di ba? Nauuso yung areglo bago yung hustisya. Kung pwedeng aregluhin muna. Yun ang mahirap doon Di bali sana kung minor incident lang, no? Kung simpleng kaso lang, pwedeng aregluhin. Kaso hindi Muntik na kaya mabaril yung Kitang-kita mo naman yung pagkasa ng mama doon sa baril niya. Buti na lang na-videohan nyo, na-aktuhan nyo. Kundi, wala na naman. Meron na naman nakalusot sana. Well, ganyan talaga. Mga korap, mga bugok, no? Na ang daming ganoon. Unfortunately, di pa naubos yung mga skalawag sa PNP, no? Hindi naman natin linalahat yung mga kapulisan natin. Marami naman mga pulis talaga na honest at mahusay maglingkod at magserbisyo. Pero dahil nahahaluan sila ng mga bulok na yan, pati yung mga matitinong nadadamay sa kalokohan. Sana naman maubos na yung mga yan. Maubos na yung mga abusadong pulis na yan bago pa may mga inosente pang mabiktima. And moving on to our next regional top story. Ito naman po sa ating karagatan. PCG to monitor fuel extraction from beach vessel. Lagi na lang po may mga lumulubog na barko dito sa atin. Report by Ed Amoroso and Evelyn Macairan to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. The extraction of 15,148 liters of marine diesel oil from the fuel tank of a cargo vessel that ran aground in Occidental Mindoro will be monitored by the Philippine Coast Guard. In a statement released yesterday, the PCG said it would ensure the safety of the oil extraction from motor vessel Jogel 5. The Jogel 5 was sailing toward Sablayan, Occidental Mindoro from Bawan, Batangas when it hit shallow waters near Barangay Harrison in Paluan Town on Friday. Aside from diesel oil, the vessel was loaded with 28,020 bags of cement. The PCG Southern Tagalog District and said the extraction has yet to start as of 3 p.m. yesterday, as officials were still waiting for a barge that would be sent by Preeminent Shipping and Management Corp., owner of Jogel 5. PCG Southern Tagalog District Chief Commodore Jeronimo Tobilla directed the shipping company to hire an accredited salvage company for the safe removal of the vessel. No oil spill has been reported in the area, authorities said. The vessel's skipper, Captain Arnie Alberto, said the big waves and strong winds battered the Jogel 5. He said seawater had entered the ship, which can cause the vessel to sink if it continues to sail. Alberto and his 13 crew members were rescued by village residents. 8 of them were allowed to go home while the rest stayed for investigation. Meanwhile, in Cebu, spill booms and absorbent pads were laid out on an anchorage area when a motor tugboat sank on Sunday. The booms and pads were intended to stop the spread of the bilge coming from MT Sugbo 2, according to PCG Central Cebu Station Acting Chief Commodore Mark Larsen Mariano. The Sugbog 2, which sank at the Naga Anchorage area in Naga City at around 5 p.m., had 10 crew members on board. And that completes our top stories for today, September 5, 2023, Tuesday. And here again is a summary of our top stories for today. Government stands firm Rice price cap starts today. Onion farmers weep over imports, low prices. Diesel prices up by 1 peso 20 centavos per liter, gasoline by 50 centavos per liter. Talking to China is no sign of weakness, U.S. Trade Chief. Court acquits Kerwin Espinosa of gun wraps. Return 0.5 million pension gun-toting ex-cop told. PCG to monitor fuel extraction from beached vessel. And we have a new weather disturbance, tropical depression Ineng, that's affecting our country. Good morning, Admin Sol. Thanks for joining this morning. Again, maraming salamat po sa mga sumali sa akin ngayong umaga. Ito po sila uli, mga nag-join, si Kuya Jeng Benson Galang, si Brother Manny Samontan, si Brother Ramon Berenguer, si Brother Maximo Lintag, si Kuya Boots Bautista, si Kuya Eric Tanyedo, si Brother or CM Dionisio Sanchez, si Admin Sol. Okay? Sila po, no? Maraming salamat po. At sa mga viewers naman natin sa TikTok, maraming salamat. Kay Jane Jazz 39, no? Who joined me briefly. Si Margaret Philly. No? At marami pa pong sumilip kanina, no? Marami pa pong sumilip. So, maraming salamat po doon sa lahat ng mga sumali sa TikTok, no? Mga TikTok viewers natin. Thank you very much sa inyong pagsali ngayong umaga. Please join me in TikTok. Once I hit yung pong 1,000 followers, I'll be able to incorporate TikTok in my live streaming. So sana po maano po ninyo, tulungan po ninyo ako na ma-hit yung 1,000 followers. At dyan po nagtatapos yung ating programa ngayong araw na to. Time check is 6:30 a.m. Again, good morning and have a blessed day ahead.